Hey there, what you up to now? Day 2,804. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Thus the she. Those are my initials. I'd like to hop on every day. I have for obviously 2,804 days. It's actually been over a couple days longer than that. A day for sure. I missed Christmas of 2019, Christmas Day. I couldn't get off the couch hardly to go to the bathroom, much less I was hacking up my lungs. Had COVID, it turns out, and I couldn't do anything. I certainly couldn't. I couldn't go to Christmas, so I couldn't do anything, and I didn't want to be around anybody. So, and this was before we even knew what COVID was. But that's the only day I think that I've actually missed. Sometimes I've posted late because I've been traveling or something, but I think that's the only day I've actually missed in the last 8 years. Kind of cool. Just documenting my journey. So today we're talking about, of course, we've switched gears and are talking in both Supersize Your Business and the Be a Better You annual challenge. I do an annual challenge every year, 8th year for the annual challenge. Physical health and well-being. And today's topic is, what are your thoughts and beliefs around your physical health and well-being, or the physical area and aspect of your business? And I shared a couple of stories in Supersize Your Business about my messed up thoughts and beliefs about it, and how that kept us small longer than we needed to be. And as well as just thoughts and beliefs and the impact that they have on us, and that sometimes we are actually the bottleneck, and we're of course never aware of it. We don't think that any of our beliefs are conflicting, right? Because we're not aware of it. But once we start actually writing them down, which is why we do it every month for each of the different areas and aspects of our life, so we spend a day paying attention to, what the heck do I think about this? How do I feel about this? What's coming up for me? And we just jot those down, and then we look at them at the end of the day, because sometimes that's all we need to do to say, well, that's ridiculous. I thought that when I was 12. I certainly don't believe or think that anymore. Maybe we should find and let that go and get a flood of what it is that we really want in our life, instead of blocking it at every opportunity. So we talked about thoughts, beliefs, and we're just going to note them today, and then we're going to use them for tomorrow's topic. I think that these first 3 days of any month it's the way I've got it structured, are the ones that set the tone and the foundation for how are we going to do in this area and aspect of our life. We look at it, but we understand it from our own perspective, which is the only perspective that matters, right? And then we choose over the rest of the month what to do with it and how to deal with it, the goal we want to achieve by the end of the year. Again, I've mentioned, I think more than once, like a lot of times, I usually start with the physical area and aspect of our life. Maybe because I had a sudden cardiac arrest, and health is something that I've ignored, or my literal physical body health and well-being was something that I just shoved to the back of my priority list for probably 20 years. When I was, married, raising my kids, and they were young, I put everybody else first. And I think as moms, we tend to do that, and as grandmas, but we need to remember that if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be here to take care of them. And I got a huge dose of that not a few years back, 15 years ago. 15 years ago is the anniversary of I call it death day. My sisters hate that, but it's what happened. I dropped dead in the middle of one of my businesses, and my daughter and one of her friends were down skateboarding. Well, I was at a city council meeting. I left the meeting, walked through the top of one of my businesses down to another, and luckily I didn't get down to another, and I dropped right in front of the restroom at the one business, and one of the employees, thank goodness that he had the ability to do CPR, or I wouldn't be here talking to you today. So I much appreciate that. It's caused me to do a lot of soul searching and figuring out what works for me and what doesn't. And that's what I want you to do for yourself. What works for you? What do things mean to you? And do they really mean that to you, or does that belong to somebody else? One of my favorite questions is, who does that belong to? Because I find there are so many things that I think and I actually believe that aren't even mine. I got them from my mom, or I got them from my dad. Some of them are good and strong and make a great contribution to who I am as a human being and my character. Others, not so much, right? So we want to be able to at least look at those things and pick and choose what is right for us. All right, that's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, make it a fantastic day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.